Hello, my name is Mike Pfaff, and this is my YouTube channel, Living in the Illusion. Well, last time we were together, and I'll put a link up there because I didn't finish. So this is a new video. I'm going to call it part 2 of what we started with last time. And I'll go through a quick review because some people might come in and not recognize we've already done a lot of work. So I'll put the reference up there to the start, part 1 video, and go through a little review and then finish this up, I hope, in a relatively short time. Now, what our topic was, and is this time also, is all is energy. All is information. All is data. All is data. That's all it is. Data. Oh, we think it's stuff, physical stuff, but no, it's all data. So let's see how we can come to that conclusion. We talked about the outside, and the inside. Okay? And we looked at these two figures as representing basically the same thing, the body, except one is an input device and the other is an output device. So now, outside of us, I said, was everything. Everything is outside. Whether you're talking about physical objects or energy. I misquote because the physical objects aren't here, outside. The physical objects, as the part 1 explained, are creations inside. So how do we do that? Really quickly, outside is energy, moving, undulating, in and out of each other, fields, different fields of energy and interacting to cause this energy out here. So outside of us is everything. It's energy. It's information in that form, information. And since it's everything, it's infinite, and infinite has a symbol of what's called a lazy 8. Now, we get the outside information inside of us through our senses. So these 5 little lines here represent the senses. So you're talking about everything coming through your senses, and your senses cannot transmit everything. They're not that big. So they only transmit a certain amount of information. And even that information is not meaningful. It's just data. It's just information. And we take that information and using our past as a reference, which are memories, which are our past experiences, which we recall as memories, using that reference material that is in the subconscious mind, we filter the input information from the senses, looking for what is relevant to us based upon Our past experiences are reference information that we believe is true for us individually. Okay? So, that's as far, we got that far, and began to recognize out of this filter system, based upon our past, which is stored in the subconscious mind, comes data. Comes data that is meaningful to us based on our past. So we take the data, and from that data we create the world that we have. We create the world that we have. So the world you think you are living in is a creation. It's creation based upon your past. Now all of this is input. Input through this part of you. And by the way, we also said you're not your body. Your body is an instrument that you use. An instrument that you use. And so that should stimulate the question, if you're not your body, who are you? And we'll spend some more time talking about that later. But let's just look at this model now. So out of the data that you have selected based upon your past, you develop what you think is your world. You create it. Now, out here, energy, in here, inside, created world. If we only knew where the inside was. So this world that you live in is a creation. And it is in this world that there are objects. This world creates objects. Out here, everything, no objects. Only energy. Move it around. Like that. And from the data you create your world. From your creation comes objects that are inside of you, not outside. Outside, energy. Now, how fast is all of this going? We talked about that too, and I wrote it down. That's why I'm glad I didn't erase everything and start over again. Your senses, which are instruments, can be tested pretty accurately. And the information, and I got all this off of, you just go to Google and you ask them questions and they'll take you to websites and you read about it and you can find out. But your senses altogether transmit about 11 million bits of data per second. Most of that is visual. About almost 10 million bits of data per second is based upon your visual input. And the rest of them cascade down, not too much. So, that's an important sense that we as humans have, our visual sight. So we're taking in information and we're filtering it and we're getting high-graded data that's meaningful for us based upon our past experiences. And we create the world that we have based upon our past experiences. Again, I got to be careful. Not this energy. Your world's a creation. I have a couple videos like that. It says, do we create our world? And the short answer is, yeah, we do. We create our world. And we create the objects that we think are outside of us, which is energy. we think they're physical objects out here. So we have the input part of us, and now we got to talk about the output part of us. Okay, the output part of us is the subconscious mind. I mean, the conscious mind. That's all we know is the conscious mind. We don't know the subconscious mind. It's a mystery. But the conscious mind, we say, oh, I know, because now we get to the hard question of science. Consciousness. What's consciousness? Well, that's what we say. We have a conscious mind, so we know we're conscious. Well, that's a question for another time. But we do know that we are aware through what we call the conscious mind. Now, up here, everything happening in millions to billions of bits of data per second. Then we have the conscious mind. Now, the conscious mind says we're conscious of it. We can test it pretty good because we're aware of it. And when we test it against people who process information very quickly, have to, mathematicians, athletes, all kinds of people like that, the conscious mind operates maximum, and I wrote this down, 100 bits of data per second. So you can go on the internet and you can find that out too. Now they're going to vary a little bit depending on how they test them. But basically the subconscious mind is the biggest guy in town, who operates the fastest, and is unknown directly by you. The conscious mind is the slowest and has the least amount of information. But we believe it knows everything and tells us everything. Doesn't. It can't keep up with this. It's only operating at 100 bits of data per second, and this is operating at billions. They don't jive. They don't even talk the same language. But we believe the conscious mind tells all. Can't. So inside of us, we put together, in the last video, a ball. We said, well, okay, one of the objects could be a ball like a baseball. Okay? And the conscious mind looks at the inside world, created world, and says, oh, there's a ball there. Now, and there's other objects here too. So now it looks outside, it goes outside, and this is all energy out here. And so this is kind of where I left off. So we're going to have to pick up at this point. Outside of you is energy. The conscious mind projects onto that energy a ball. The ball is an inside creation that is projected outside based upon the energy, the oscillating, undulating energy that's going on. Now, at this point, I want to be clear. These are the same instruments. This is the same body. So now, up here is this energy in the hand that the hand touches. You touch, and you think you're touching stuff, whatever it is. You think you're touching your glasses, you think you're touching. Now, remember how fast this portion of you is operating. You reach out with your hand, and there's disturbed energy that you can feel. And that feeling, this is the same hand, remember, the same hand. That feeling out here with your hand goes inside as sense information. Again, information. So the sense information goes in. You filter it based upon your past. You create the ball, and the ball is in your hand. You believe the inside object is outside because of your experience with balls. Big balls, little balls, baseballs, soccer balls, marbles. And you do that so fast that when your eye looks at that information, transmits it through this upper system, the input system, the output will show you the ball in your hand. That's the point I didn't get to before. That's the point that is so counterintuitive. The objects created inside, how they project to the outside infinite energy system, and how you believe that the inside created object, based upon your past experiences and references, ends up looking like it's outside. Why? Because it feels like a ball. It looks like a ball. It sounds like a ball when you bounce it or hit it. All that energy is out here where you project your inside creation and believe it's out here in the energy field. Energy field. Now, what do we call this out here? I said it is everything. It is energy. It is information that we convert to data and create our world inside. And it's infinite. Now, what's another name people do call that? I'll tell you. The all. All is energy. All is information. All is data. I told you these are all tied together, and they are. So now, who are you? In this whole thing, who are you? You are able, through this process, because everything's out here, you are able through this process to create any kind of world you want. That's the value that I want you to get to. See, this process has value. What's the value? The recognition that you're the creator. The recognition you create your world. Now, why does that have value? Because basically you didn't know it. You thought, well, the world just comes, it just arises. No, nothing arises from nothing. Nothing comes from nothing. If you have any effect, there's a cause. What's the cause? You. You are the subtle cause of everything. Tough to understand. So, your world and my world can never be the same world. I know you think that the outside world, you call it a world, the outside is the same for everybody. It's not the same for anybody. But you believe it is because of how the system, the egoic system, is put in place. It's a magnificent process and not understand. It's not understood. And so we go back to science all the time. And science says, what is really, what is real? And science right now recognizes there is no real physical thing. Everything is energy. What a concept. What a concept. Everything out here is energy, and through your magnificence of your experience in this environment can create any world you want. Now, if you create a world that you don't like, that you're a victim in, or you're depressed, now this gets into mental health. We haven't talked about physical health. We'll talk about mental health. Depression, PTSD, anxiety, obsessive compulsive, all of those things are the world that you created in here. Now, what's the value in knowing that? You can change it. You don't have to have PTSD. That's a construction. You don't have to have depression. That's a construction. Anxiety. All what we think about is mental illness is a construction on the inside. Oh, isn't that exciting to know? Now, how do you change it? How do you change this world? Now, you have to look at the model. What created this world the way it is? Your world. The data. The data. How come you got this data? Because of how you filtered the input. How you filtered the input. What'd you filter the input through? Your memories. Your memories. What is the value? Heal your past. When you have healed the past, you will filter the input differently. And when you filter the input differently, you get different data out of the filtering process. And when you get different information out, you create a different world. We are all interrelated. All of this is interrelated. All of this is everything. All of this is the all. And that's all there is. Another name for this consciousness. It's infinite. So it's outside of us, it's infinite. If it's infinite, it's also inside of us. So if you look for consciousness inside of you, you must find it. And it's not the conscious mind. You are the creator. And you have chosen, because everything is out here. The good, the bad, the ugly, the terrible, the sublime, the beautiful, the serene, the terrible. It's all out here. You have chosen to select through this data and your experience this world. Can be wonderful, can be terrible. What makes the difference? Or how you move between the two? Your belief system. Your memories, which create the belief system. So if you want to heal and have a different world, a happier world, doesn't mean you're going to have different objects in it. It means that you're going to have a happier world because you're the creator. And that's the value of recognizing you live in an illusion. So now, this went on longer than I thought. But hopefully you'll get the idea that you can change. How do you change? Change the past. What is the past? Memories. Now, if you go to psychotherapy, in some literatures indicate psychotherapy is the only real therapy there is. Why? Because only the mind can be sick. Only the mind can be healed. You'll find that in A Course in Miracles. And when you heal the past, you change the present, which affects the future. See, your goal is to have possession of a lot of objects. See, we think that's going to make us happy. Doesn't make us happy. Healing the past and forgiving ourselves makes us happy. So think about that. Think about how that relates to your life. Think about how you heal the past. And then what is the past? Oh, we have a lot to talk about. So, in the meantime, be good to yourself, and we'll see you next time we get together. Bye now.